Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Vulcan Report. This end of day report is for trading on June the 22nd, 2017, Thursday. All right, I'm going to try to make this video as quick as possible. Let's see if I can make it happen. Right now you're looking at a chart of the Veritasium. Veritasium, it should be noted, is extremely thinly traded right now. All right, your 24-hour volume is listed here. All right, circulating supply is listed here, just under 2 million. And, you know, it's just not a lot of liquidity, if you will. It's extremely thinly traded, so it is subject to these types of price shocks. These are not flash crashes, okay? This is not a flash crash. This market is way too new for that. What happens is it's easy for prices to be pushed around because it's a thinly traded market, all right? So not only is it thinly traded, but you also have mechanics that they're trying to get the kinks out. You know, they're trying to put this thing together here. Make no mistake, Veritasium is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. Likewise, Ethereum. Ethereum is not flash crashing, people. There was no flash crash. Again, these are new mechanisms, new markets. All right. So because they are, and in comparison to stocks and Forex and futures contracts, these are extremely thinly traded for the most part. They're illiquid. All right. So you're going to have these issues. You're going to have these price swings and shocks and volatility. That's why I always stress and tell everyone to tighten up those stops and learn to take profits along the way. If you get greedy, you're going to get burned, because it took Globex years. They had the entire 90s to get things together, okay? And still worked on it in the mid 2000s. So they had time to get their act together. Now they're a solid, mechanism. So it's going to take a while for the Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Veritasium. They're going to have to, go through the growing pains and everything else. And as more people come into these arenas, then you're going to have, better liquidity and things of that nature. But also, look at this, all right? It's telling you, the 24-hour volume, in the millions. You got 640 million bucks, 381 million bucks, 335. This is Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Litecoin. I like the way this particular site groups things, because it's showing you who has the most volume at any given point. Ethereum is taking the lead right now. Bitcoin is now second. Litecoin is third. Okay. So Ethereum's down 1%, Bitcoin's up 1.52%, and Litecoin is up almost 3%. All right, and then here are your prices in terms of dollars. Okay, so Ethereum still hasn't broken that $400 where it topped out at. Right now it's at 325. It's still over 300, and support, believe it or not, has not been broken on this Ethereum. Ethereum has managed to stay above its support even during this sell-off period. So understand, folks, this is not a flash crash by any means, okay? A flash crash, first of all, you have to understand the mechanics of what a flash crash is and what it isn't. A true flash crash happens in markets that are extremely liquid and very heavily traded. It doesn't count if it's a thinly traded market. All right. By nature, thinly traded markets flash crash every day. If you really want to go there, and I'll show you a few examples by the end of this video. So to meet the definition of a flash crash, First of all, it has to be the global markets in and of themselves, not just one segment of the market. If something happens in one stock, for example, or let's say it happened in Ethereum, but not the Bitcoin or Litecoin, we don't call that a flash crash, people. All right. In trading terms, that's not a flash crash. We call that an operation. All right. There was an operation. That means that something was in play. That particular stock was in play, or that particular coin, the Ethereum, was in play. All right. So there was an operation that happened there. Someone got a hold of some information or what have you, moved some large money around, what have you. I've been warning you guys about the big players entering into these spaces now for weeks. I warned you about Ethereum specifically. I told you that large money, institutional money, was coming into there. Also, Ethereum, don't forget, is unique in that the Veritasium is using its facilities and pricing itself in relation to the Ethereum, and you have to use ethos to operate with the Veritasium. So it's a unique monster right now. And I have to tell you, and again, I give these warnings out and people don't listen. That's on y'all. Y'all want to make money, lose money. I have nothing to do with that. I just put the information out there and I keep stepping. I'm warning you right now. You see how Ethereum right now in volume and trading activity has surpassed the Bitcoin. It won't be long before the price of the Ethereum surpasses the Bitcoin. Veritasium and Ethereum are going to be your number 1 and 2 cryptocurrencies in the near future. Bitcoin and Litecoin will be runner-ups for second, but it's going to be between the Ethereum and the Veritasium. I'm telling you, those two have a sharp, incredible future ahead of them. So this is a time to get into it early. And Ethereum is not cheap. That's the equivalent of a $300 stock. You know what I'm saying? So that's not cheap. Litecoin's been doing some things too. It's been on a tear. I think it's going to catch them too. To be honest with you, the way these three leaders right here, they represent like the NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow. So I think that they're all going to catch up to the Bitcoin in price shortly. The Litecoin will catch up. It's going to be in the hundreds of dollars, and the Bitcoin is still the most widely held, so it's going to continue to be expensive too. But this Ethereum and then the Veritasium, they're going to catch it, and they're going to exceed it. I think they are going to be the future. Remember, at the end of the day, things always get shook out. The weak hands get shook out, and only the true leaders take over. All right, there were many software companies back in the 80s. All right, and you see who emerged. All right, you saw who's still standing and who's not. Okay, so at the end of the day, I don't think we're going to have hundreds and thousands of cryptos. I think we're going to have a handful, and it's going to come down to the Veritasium, the Ethereum, the Bitcoin, and the Litecoin. To be quite honest with you, I don't think the Ripples and the rest of these have a chance. I think they're going to be gone soon. And all the money flows are going to come into these top 3 here, and then to the Veritasium, which is going to shortly be on this list as it gathers steam. So there you have it. All right. So do with that information as you will. But there was no flash crash, people. All right, these are new markets, and they're thin, and they can't compare to the trading the QQQ or the spiders or the E-mini S&P 500 futures contract or bond futures or what I'm saying, or the euro dollar pit, or trading the the yen or the pound, forex pairs. Come on, man, you can't compare that. You see what I'm saying? I mean, come on. The currency markets are $1 trillion markets. $1 trillion a day is traded hands. All right, in the forex. So when this market becomes that kind of a monster, and then you see price action like that, then yeah, then we can start talking. But again, you guys, class, pay attention. A flash crash happens in global markets. Like we had on May the 6th of 2010, that was a flash crash. All right, that was a flash crash. Okay, we had never seen anything like that before. There's nothing has happened like that before it, and nothing like that happened since. All right, there was no geopolitical event. It wasn't a war. It wasn't a terrorist attack attached to it. It wasn't a meteor. None of that stuff. That was pure market mechanics. All right, going into play. That's what a flash crash is. All right, we haven't had one since. All right, you've had operations in certain securities, but not a flash crash. That does not meet the requirements and the definition of a flash crash. All right. Also, during the flash crash, it should be noted that had the powers that be not stepped in, then everything would have went to zero. And technically, everything did go to zero on May the 6th, 2010. Everything went to zero. All right, they had to step in and fix things. Yes, and some things actually printed down to a penny. You had stocks that were hundreds of dollars that went down to a penny. I'm not kidding. All right, that's a flash crash. This is not a flash crash. It's nowhere near it. Yeah, it fell precipitously. It was powerful. It crashed, but it wasn't a flash crash. That's not a flash crash. A flash crash also, at the end of a flash crash, the market is brought back to its former position. That's what a flash crash really is. We did have a another situation that would make you think of the flash crash. I'm trying to think, was it? I don't know what forex pair it was. I don't remember off the top of my head. But a few years back, around the same time, a currency fell like 50,000 pips or something like that. It was just, it was carnage. It was devastating. And it stayed down, didn't come back. That was an operation. There was something going on. That still does not meet the definition of a flash crash because it wasn't all currency pairs. It wasn't that. Flash crash is system-wide, like a system-wide failure. You could call what happened in Ethereum a flash crash if all of the cryptocurrencies fell at the same time and with the same speed and velocity. Then we would say, yes, the cryptocurrencies had a flash crash. But just because the Ethereum had a situation, that isn't, you can't know. That's not what that was. Educate yourself. Ethereum is the future. It's not going anywhere. All right. So those who are married to other coins like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ripple, whatever, deal with it. Ethereum isn't going anywhere. Ethereum is the future. You need to understand that. Look here at your 24-hour volume, and that it should explain to you everything. It's almost double the volume of these. That should tell you something. It's not going anywhere. Then here, number of coins. Look at this. 92.71 million versus only 16 million in your Bitcoin and 51.67 million in your Litecoin. All right. I'm just saying, the math doesn't lie. It's the math. Look at the volume. Look at the number of coins. That's all I'm saying. All right. Let me get off this soapbox and move on to the next thingamabob here that we need to deal with. I said this is going to be quick, and I guess it's not. All right, since we're on the coinage, let's look at GBTC on the equity side of the cryptocurrency equation. You can see it's still coming off here. All right, we got this deep pit here, but we got this incredible ramp coming up, this rampage, and it should be kicking in within the next couple of weeks. And like I said, this should really get back up and test 600, and I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks the 600 and keeps going. So we got between now, like I said, the end of July to see that happen in GBTC. All right, looking at BTSC, the smaller little brother to the GBTC, same type of a pattern you can see here. All right, and then this incredible rampage. Yeah, so this one's looking like it stands to be the big monster to the upside. And based on the velocity here, this one could keep going. This thing could end up being, you know, between now and the end of July, it could be around 25, 30 cents easily. So we'll see. It could even be higher than that. We'll see. All right, let's see what else we need to look at. Oh, dry ships, man. All these reverse splits, man, just craziness. The chart is so messed up. You can't even see the chart. It's just ridiculous. Let me show you something else though, because we're talking about, you know, thin and liquidity and things like that. All right. Let me see if I can show you here. Actually, no, this is not a good example. Let me find. I had it right before I hit record on the video. What was it I want to show you? Hold on. Maybe it was here under, let me see. I had a good example and I lost it. Oh, I know. Okay, I got you. I got it. Here we go. I got it. All right. This right here is the cotton futures. So this is a perfect one. So let me just pull up a 5-minute chart for you real quick. Okay. Look how the price jumps and skips. And this is a 5-minute chart, by the way. All right. You can see here how you went from 44, 37, 40, 44.97, that is. And then you come all the way down here to 44.21. In the space, it just jumped 5 minutes. It just jumped. You see that? This is ticker symbol BAL. It's the cotton futures ETF. So if you don't want to trade the cotton futures outright futures contract, you can just go long BAL. And you see how it jumps and skips all around the place? That's what this is about. All right, so thinly traded markets tend to move like that, and you have to be aware of it. All right, so anyway, just wanted to show you that. That's what thinly traded markets look like, and they can gap and be all over the place. That's not a flash crash. That's normal for that particular security. All right, so anyway, that's where we are. Not a whole lot is happening right now. It's been, for the most part, pretty quiet week. Not a whole lot of volatility. You know, summertime tends to be like that. So we just have to be patient and, you know, let the market decide what it wants to do and let the market come to you. Here's your miners. Miners are trying to get a little bit of strength here. It's trying to break out finally. This is a daily chart of the GDXJ. And it is looking like it wants to close above this resistance and break out of this cloud. So we could have a possible runner here in the GDXJ. And now the wild card is going to be what's going to happen with the precious metals. And you can see here that gold is also trying to run up to its resistance. And you do have rampage coming up that I showed you in prior videos. Likewise, looking at the silver, it is pretty much the same situation, but it's just further behind and has a lot more to make up for. But the upward trajectory is to the trend line right here, this resistance right here. So that's what it's going to try to do. Anyway, that's all I got time for tonight. I got to run, but remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. I also want to give a shout out to anyone who is going to be in the Charlottesville, Virginia area on Thursday, July the 27th at 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. They're having the Taste of Africa featuring Ghana and Kenya. And that's going to be at the George Washington Carver Recreation Center at 233 4th Street Northwest in Charlottesville, Virginia. 22903 is the zip. And the website for more details and where you can RSVP and get free tickets is at www.chihamba.eventbrite.com. That's Shamaba.eventbrite.com, and I'll put the link in the bottom of the video description if anyone is interested. All right, remember, be encouraged. Come on over to postwavetrading.com and learn how to navigate these incredible volatile waters of these markets, and you can create an additional income stream for both you and your family. Peace. That they're trying to get the kinks out. You know, they're trying to put this thing together here. Make no mistake, Veritasium is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. Likewise, Ethereum. Ethereum is not flash crashing, people. There was no flash crash. Again, these are new mechanisms, new markets. All right. So because they are, and in comparison to stocks and forex and futures contracts, these are extremely thinly traded for the most part. They're illiquid. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Vulcan Report. This end of day report is for trading on June the 22nd, 2017, Thursday. All right, I'm going to try to make this video as quick as possible. Let's see if I can make it happen. Right now, you're looking at a chart of the Veritasium. Veritasium, it should be noted, is extremely thinly traded right now. All right, your 24-hour volume is listed here. All right, circulating supply is listed here, just under 2 million. And, you know, it's just not a lot of liquidity, if you will. It's extremely thinly traded, so it is subject to these types of price shocks. These are not flash crashes, okay? This is not a flash crash. This market is way too new for that. What happens is it's easy for prices to be pushed around because it's a thinly traded market, all right? So not only is it thinly traded, but you also have mechanic, all right? So you're going to have these issues. You're going to have, you know, these price swings and shocks and volatility. That's why I always stress and tell everyone to tighten up those stops and learn to take profits along the way. If you get greedy, you're going to get burned, because it took Globex years. They had the entire 90s to get things together, okay? And still worked on it in the mid 2000s. So they had time to get their act together. Now they're a solid, you know, mechanism. So it's going to take a while for the Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Veritasium. They're going to have to, you know, go through the growing pains and everything else. And as more people come into these arenas, then you're going to have, you know, better liquidity and things of that nature. But also, look at this, all right? It's telling you, you know, the 24-hour volume, you know, in the millions. You got 640 million bucks, 381 million bucks, 335. This is Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Litecoin. I like the way this particular site groups things, because it's showing you who has the most volume at any given point. Ethereum is taking